Nearly 200 years ago, a teenage Indian girl named Sacagawea was swept up into one of the greatest adventures in American history, the journey of Lewis and Clark.
Scene 1, 1800 near Shoshone Village in what is now Idaho.
A man from the village has ordered Birdgirl to gather cattails from the stream. As she works, he hears her friend Jumping Fish screaming in the distance.
Birdgirl, run! Wars are attacking the village!
Jumping Fish plunges into the stream. Birdgirl follows. They try to hide in the reeds.
Who are they?
Kanatsas.
Native tribes often attack one another, taking horses, weapons, and slaves.
A painted warrior appears on horseback. The girls run. But a moment later, they are caught and carried away. They are held to another village, many days to the east.
Will we have to marry him?
No, we are still too young. We will be slaves for the women of the village.
In some tribes, warriors had more than one wife. Birdgirl was just 12 years old, yet in only a few years she'll be old enough to be taken as wife.
The war party pauses. The warrior watching them leaves his horse and goes to confer with the others. Jumping Fish quietly slides off the horse.
Birdgirl, we can escape. You go, Jumping Fish. He might not care if one is missing, but he'll notice too.
I'll tell your people. Perhaps they'll send a war party after you.
I am not important to our people, and they do not have guns to fight. No, this is my fate. Goodbye, Jumping Fish. Remember me.
Scene 2, a Hidatsa village, a few years later.
Life changed little for Birdgirl. Among the Hidatsa, she was ordered about just as she had been in the Shoshone village. Her name was changed to Birdwoman, or in her new language, Sacagawea.
A French-Canadian fur trapper enters this village, hoping to bargain with the chief.
Toussaint Charbonneau had learned the language of the Hidatsa tribe.
Chief, I'll trade you this rifle for 10 buffalo skins.
Not good trade, 5 skins, maybe.
Not a good trade for me, Chief. Let's make a game of it.
Charbonneau believed he could trick the Hidatsas into better deals by gambling.
Sacagawea watches him take 2 strange-looking stones from his sack. They're dice. He explains how to play.
If you roll a 7, you may keep the rifle. If you roll anything else, you must give me 10 skins.
The chief thinks for a moment. He is curious about the game. He rolls a 3 and a 4 turn up. Sacagawea is happy to see Charbonneau give up the rifle.
Let's try again. I have 2 bags of coffee. If you roll a 7, you may keep them. If you roll anything else, you must give me 10 buffalo skins.
The chief is confident. He rolls a 2 and a 5. Sacagawea is startled by a shout.
Trade more!
I haven't anything else to trade.
The chief glances around. He sees Sacagawea watching.
You lose. You stay here as slave 1 season.
That's worth more than 10 skins, Chief.
The chief glances around. He sees Sacagawea watching.
You win. Take Sacagawea.
Charbonneau examines her.
She seems strong enough. She'll make a good wife.
Sacagawea watches as the chief rolls the dice. This time, it is Charbonneau who shouts for joy.
4. Good trade.
The chief takes Sacagawea and places her hand in Charbonneu's. She is married. Scene 3, Upper Missouri River, fall 1804.
Charbonneau remained in the area, sometimes working for a local tribes as an interpreter. A person helped them communicate with French traders.
Sacagawea is pregnant when a large group of white men arrives in the area.
These men are from the Corps of Discovery. The American president has sent them to find a passage to the Pacific Ocean.
Ocean?
A great water far from here. They'll need an interpreter. I'll offer my services.
But I am a child.
If only the Hidatsas would take you back. The men will stay here through the winter. By then you'll give birth.
again. Winter 1804.
The Court of Discovery was headed by Captain Mayweather Lewis and William Clark. To wait out the winter, they built a Fort Nervy. Sacagawea's baby is born.
The time for the expedition to depart draws near. Captain Clark finds Lewis frowning over his maps.
Is something wrong?
We'll need horses to pass the mountains.
The Hidatsa say they got their horses from the Shoshone. Maybe we could trade with them.
The Shoshone language is obscure. We'd have to communicate well to trade
The
with them.
Frenchman's Indian woman is Shoshone. And he has asked to be hired on.
Take on an Indian woman and her baby? Think of the hardships of the journey.
We'll take her as far as the Shoshone camp. She'll want to reunite with her people.
Very well. And what of the husband? The Indians insult him behind his back.
But he has a valuable wife.
Very well, let us hire his services, but only if the Indian woman comes along.
Scene 5. Up on Missouri River, spring 1805.
The Corps set out for Shoshone territory that spring. During the trip, Sacagawea was frequently proved her worth.
On 2 occasions, when their boat nearly overturned, Sacagawea saved important papers and journals.
It was a good decision to bring her.
She almost died of an infection that was nearly lost in a flash flood.
We're fortunate we didn't lose her.
4 months have passed. The group makes camp. Sacagawea turns to Charbonneau.
My people are nearby.
Let's just keep to ourselves till the time is right. You're just anxious to find your kin. Don't get any ideas about staying.
Tell them if we don't find the village soon, there will not be time to pass through the mountains.
Sacagawea tugs on his arm and gestures toward the captains. Charbonneau loses his patience and strikes her across the face.
You are my property, not theirs.
Like many native women, Sacagawea was accustomed to being beaten.
She lowers her head, awaiting another blow. But Captain Clark grabs Charbonneau's wrist and twists it backwards.
There will be no beating under my command. If you strike her again, you will be dismissed and will leave you in the wilderness.
Sacagawea dares not look up.
Now tell me what she was saying. She says the Shoshone are near.
Scene 6. Shoshone Camp. Summer 1805.
A few days later, the Corps made contact with Shoshone.
Sacagawea kneels quietly, her head down, awaiting for the chief to speak.
Ahi! Ahi!
Sacagawea looks up. There's something familiar in the chief's voice.
He says, I am much pleased. I am much rejoiced.
Communicating was difficult and slow. The message was translated from Shoshone to Hidatsa, into French, and finally into English.
Captain Lewis tells Kamehameha that they needed guns and can trade him guns. Sacagawea translates, but she is troubled.
The white man says the guns.
She pauses. She suddenly realizes that the chief is her brother.
The guns will protect you from your enemies and make hunting easier.
Kamehameha likes this idea. Sacagawea can hardly sit still.
Ahi! Ahi!
Sacagawea jumps up and hugs the chief.
Brother, it is Birdgirl, remember?
Kamehameha briefly embraces Sacagawea. He's more interested in the guns.
Birdgirl, ask when we receive the rifles.
Sacagawea returns to her place, lowering her head. The negotiations continued.
The expedition received 29 horses and chains for rifles to be delivered in the future.
Scene 7, Shoshone Camp, summer 1805.
The Corps prepares to depart. Sacagawea finds her old friend Jumping Fish.
Birdwoman, it was said around the village that you are free to stay with us. It is true, I have been freed. I am much pleased.
Sacagawea looks toward the soldiers.
The white men say the great water seems to go on forever. Monster fish that are big enough to swallow our greatest warrior.
I don't believe it.
I am sorry, Jumping Fish. I will not be staying here.
Why? Are you ashamed of us?
When I was taken as a slave, no one came for me because I was not important. The Hidatsas traded me away in a game because I was not important. When I was near death with sickness, my husband still made me fetch apples because I was not important. I will not be remembered in the stories of our people.
Because Native American women were commonly treated badly, Sacagawea words would not have no Jumping Fish.
I have a place among the white men on this journey. I will see the great water and its monster fish. I will go places our people will never go, and in their stories, the white men will remember me.